Most Facebook advertisers are scaling their ads incorrectly. Today, I'm going to show you an easy way to automate and to dynamically scale your Facebook ads. But first, let me quickly elaborate on what do I mean when I say that they are scaling their ads incorrectly. Now, the traditional way to scale your Facebook ad campaigns would be to continuously monitor your ad account and to make incremental increases as the campaigns perform well, and then to decrease it when the campaigns don't perform so well. The issue with this is it only really works if you have 1 or 2 campaigns, and it is extremely time consuming. When you, like us, manage certain ad accounts that have over 40 campaigns that are live, each campaign has got multiple ad sets within them, it's almost impossible to do it this way. You have so many moving parts, there's going to be an error, you're going to miss a day, and it's not the most efficient way to scale your Facebook ad campaigns. The other traditional way that you would usually scale your Facebook ad campaigns would be to just duplicate your ads. Now, this doesn't work because what you end up with having is you have multiple campaigns competing for the same auctions. It's known as auction overlap. It's very inefficient and you end up wasting a lot of money. Meta will just choose one of those campaigns to favor and you'll be wasting money on all the rest of them. So there's a very nice and easy way to automate and to dynamically scale your Facebook ad campaigns, and I'm going to run you through that right now. So this is one of our ad managers that we have open here. What you're going to look for is this little drop-down menu where it says More. And you're going to say Create New Rule. There are a couple of options here, but the one we are looking for is Custom Rule. Okay, now you can name your rule. So let's create the rule that is going to increase the budget when the campaign is performing well. So we'll call it something simple, like increase budget. It will be applied to all active campaigns, and the action required is to increase daily budget by. Now, every client or every ad account, every product is going to be different, but for this particular one, we wanted to increase in increments of 10% to a maximum of 2,000 Rand a day. So even if it's hitting the required parameters, it's not going to go above 2,000 Rand a day. Action frequency. This is how often you want this rule to be checked and applied. So you can select once a day or twice a day, which is the default setting. This is a little bit dependent on the niche and the product, but twice a day tends to work. So when will this rule take effect? This rule will take effect when purchase ROAS is greater than, once again, now this is down to your ad account, to your niche. This client tends to do quite well at a 10 ROAS, and that's when we'd want to start scaling. So if purchase ROAS is greater than 10, it will increase the daily budget by 10% to a maximum of 2,000. Now, this next part is quite important, time range. This is the number of days of data you'd like to apply your rule to. So I would not suggest maximum. Maximum is you could have campaigns running for months, and potentially over the entirety of the campaign's history, it was generating over a 10 ROAS, but in the last couple of days or last couple of weeks, it's been down to a 4. So what's relevant is the most recent data, but you also don't want to say a day or two because that's not enough data to make big decisions on. We like to say in the last 7 days. So if in the last 7 days, the ROAS is greater than 10, it will make a 10% increase to the daily budget to a maximum of 2,000 Rand. Here at the bottom, it will know, you can just set who it has to notify every time a change is made, because it's nice to just keep track of that. And there you go. There we've created a rule to dynamically increase our ad budgets when the campaigns are performing well. But obviously the campaigns aren't always performing well, and we'd want the same rule, a similar rule, to be applied when the campaigns are performing terribly. So we're going to set that up now. Once again, we're looking for this drop-down menu at More, and we want to click on Create New Rule. Custom Rule. This one, we're just going to call Decrease Budgets. Apply Rule to all active campaigns. And the action this time is obviously not to increase, but is to decrease the daily budget by. We're going to stick to 10% for the sake of this example, to a minimum budget of 300 Rand. This is once again something that you need to think about when it comes to your ad account. What is the absolute lowest you want your ad account, your campaigns to spend daily? We're going to stick to the action frequency of checking this twice a day, every 12 hours. And the condition is, once again, it is website purchase ROAS. But this time it's not greater than, it's smaller than. So in the example, when we set the rule up to increase our budgets, we use 10. For this particular client, if the ROAS drops below a 5, I'd want the campaigns to decrease the budget. And then once again, the most important thing to remember is the time range. The relevant data to take into account is in the last 7 days. So if in the last 7 days, the website purchase ROAS has dropped below a 5, the campaign budget will be decreased by 10%. This is checked twice a day, and it will go to a minimum of 300 Rand a day. So we're going to say create. So that's a nice dynamic way that you can scale your Facebook ads budgets. And it's what every advertiser wants. When the campaigns do well, budgets go up. When campaigns do not so well, they decrease. So this will also allow you to spend a little bit more time away from your ad accounts. I always suggest still keeping an eye on them, but it's not as time consuming as monitoring them continuously to manually make adjustments to them. So this also works particularly well for niches that are seasonal, companies that are seasonal. So if your product tends to only do well during a certain time of the year, such as Christmas, the budgets will increase during those times. And once it hits January, February, and things slow down, the rule will take effect and the budgets will decrease. So it's a nice little trick we learned. We've been in the fortunate position to help over 200 South African e-commerce businesses. And we've learned quite a lot of these little tips and tricks and techniques over the years. So that's what I want to be sharing on this channel. So please, if you found this helpful, drop this video a like and a subscribe, and keep an eye out for the next video. Thank you so much.